I'm Michael, and this is Carelifornia. It appears that perhaps the Problem Solvers Caucus have lived up to their name and successfully recalibrated the current political standoff and provided the impetus to reignite the possibility of folks coming back to the negotiating table for the next round of stimulus negotiations. Trump is pushing the other members of the Republican Party to think bigger when it comes to the next stimulus package. House Republicans are rallying to try to push through a stimulus package just for small business in the House, and a bipartisan group of senators are pushing for specific relief for those Americans hit hardest by the current rash of natural disasters. So today we are talking about Trump's optimism for a larger stimulus package, Republican members of the House trying to bypass Nancy Pelosi, and the bipartisan effort in the Senate to get financial relief to those affected by the natural disasters. Now this is your 5-minute daily dose, so let's make this quick. But before we do that, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Now, after initially rejecting the Problem Solvers' $1.5 trillion joint bipartisan proposal for the next round of stimulus package, on the cause of its specifics, President Trump has become more optimistic about the possibility of the next stimulus package moving forward in the near future. The president is cheering on Republicans to raise their frugal stimulus budget limit of $500 billion. President Trump tweeted, "Go for the much higher number," end quote. Later, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told CNBC that the president is probably more optimistic about the potential for a stimulus deal in the next 72 hours than that's Meadows, have been in the last 72 days, end quote. But this optimism may be a bit premature because neither Republican or Democratic senators' leadership is excited about this new proposal. Democratic senior lawmakers, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, said, "We look forward to hearing from the president's negotiators that they will finally meet us halfway with a bill that is equal to the massive health and economic crisis gripping our nation," end quote. But it's not clear if she's expecting them to meet her at the $2.2 trillion, which is halfway between the initial $3 trillion Democratic HEREOS Act and the $1 trillion Republican HEALS Act, or if she means halfway between the negotiated $2.2 trillion smaller HEREOS Act and the Republicans' most recent $500 billion bill, which would be right at $1.5 trillion. But either way, Pelosi is showing signs of feeling the mounting pressure on all sides for her to put aside her personal and political agenda and make a deal. This pressure is compounded by the fact that Republicans and Democratic lawmakers are agitating under the stress that a prolonged stalemate in Congress is putting on Americans in general and their constituencies specifically. Today, Republican lawmakers from the House of Representatives, where they are the minority, are going to try to force a vote to open up the doors on the Paycheck Protection Program. The PPP, which is a program that has been providing small businesses with funds to keep their employees employed rather than lay them off during the pandemic. They have developed a two-part proposal that would allow small businesses to start applying for the remaining $138 billion left in the unspent money from the Small Business Loan Program. Their proposal would allow companies with less than 300 employees and who have been experiencing a 25% or more decline in revenue to apply for the money. Now, although Pelosi has previously said she would only bring to a vote comprehensive stimulus packages, if the GOP representatives can gather up to 218 votes, they may be able to push it through a vote regardless of what Pelosi has to say. Finally today, a group of senators are pushing for a new bill that will provide economic relief to those Americans who have been hit hard by natural disasters this year. These senators, Joni Ernst and Chuck Grassley from Iowa, both Republicans, Dianne Feinstein from California, and Republican Senators Bill Cassidy and John Kennedy from Louisiana are lobbying for a bill that would predominantly help Americans in the Midwest after the August derechos and the raging fires on the West Coast and the slew of hurricanes that have bared down on the South. If passed, the legislation would remove penalties for early withdrawals from retirement accounts, suspend some limits on deductions for charitable contributions, and allow low-income residents to use their tax income from the previous year for this year's taxes, preventing any decrease in their tax returns because of lower income caused by the disasters. Wow, so what a difference a day makes. From yesterday, where the Problem Solvers Caucus were set aside by senior lawmakers as naive, overcompromising, and downright treacherous to their party, to today, where the president is giving their intent of their offer real credence, and their offer has added to the forces pushing both sides to the potentiality of at least one more stimulus package before the next election. Additionally, it's good to see that senators are pushing for additional help above and beyond what people normally get to help them through these natural disasters. This is because natural disasters are always bad, and they're always destructive. Okay, that's kind of obvious, but this year they are only multiplied by the pandemic and the lockdown and all the other craziness that's going on. But the cynical side of me still wonders, would this happen? Would all this support be available if we weren't in election year? What would the relief package look like if this had happened maybe 2 years ago? I guess we'll never really know, but hopefully after the election is over, all this zeal to help hurting Americans doesn't just fade away. This has been your 5-minute daily dose, and I hope that you found it interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, we here at Carelifornia, we know health insurance. So if you have any questions about your health insurance, leave those down below and we'll be happy to make a new video or a new post as soon as we can. Now, other than that, I'm Michael and this is Carelifornia, wishing you a happy, healthy